Hey there, and welcome to another exciting episode of Tales from the Podcast, the terrifyingly fun show where Jack and I sit down every other fucking week and discuss an episode of Tales from the Crypt. So, Jack, man, what's new with you, man?
What is new with me? That is a very broad question. Well, what is new with me is the fact that I am almost done rebranding completely. So that is really moving along swell. There's a lot of good things going on with my new company. We just filmed a campaign video for the district attorney here in Avoyelles Parish, Louisiana. We also are almost complete with the Cajun Santa's promotional video, which is a nonprofit organization, and where they give underprivileged kids in Avoyelles Parish a chance to have an amazing Christmas. Actually, not a chance, but last year they raised over $16,000 in 2 months, and they were able to give 46 children $400 worth of toys under their Christmas tree around the parish. And this year, we hope to double that and get as much funds as we can to help the community.
That's awesome, man. That's really, really cool of you, for sure. I'm excited to see what you end up making for everything. I know there's quite a bit going on with the rebranding, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. And if you want to check out what we're doing, just go to CajunSantas.org. And I created the website too. So that's, dude, I have and you know this, the thing, what there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that no one really sees. And, people think, oh, you're just making a podcast. You're just coming on here. No, there's a lot more. And my short-term memory sucks. And that right there, go to that website, CajunSantas.org. To check out what we do. But I forget a lot, and I have been forgetting a hell of a lot lately because I have been so occupied with my company. And I totally forgot that Ron was gonna be our guest was gonna be on tonight. And Justin is like, dude, I told you, we talked about this 3 times, and I'm like, what? I was like, I have no recollection of Ron coming on. So
So with that being said, let's go ahead and introduce our guest for this episode, Mr. Ron Pertee.
Hi.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, how's it going? Okay, good. I'm not. I had to mute myself to get my intern out here to make sure that my light was off, so I could be spooky times with you guys.
Ooh.
Yes, yeah. It looks amazing.
Yes.
It definitely does.
This is actually an exclusive for you because this is actually the new set of the Ron Pertee show. So there you go.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is a plug.
That is a plug. That is a giant plug.
But
we'll talk about that later.
Well, yeah, definitely. We'll probably talk about it a little bit now too, though, man. So, what's going on new with the Ron Pertee show?
We are coming back, and we haven't decided if it's going to be the 10th or the 17th, but we're doing late night Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern, I guess it is, 9 p.m. West Coast. It's a total talk show. I'm going to be wearing a suit.
Ooh,
I'm going to
fancy.
have a suit on. It's going to be fancy. I'm a little worried though with my gut. I'm going to look a lot like Alfred Hitchcock. So the entire episode is just going to be good evening. But no, it's I'm looking forward to it. And Vic and Missy are going to be there. Do we want to make that other announcement right now about that other person that's part of the show, or should we wait?
Sure, go ahead.
And then this guy right here, no, over here, this guy is the new producer of the show, so I don't have a lot of crap to deal with. I can deal with the creative stuff, and he can deal with the BS.
Yes,
So.
Fortunately, I get the fun part. Yeah.
I mean, we even have a couple of writers that are coming on because I'm going to be doing monologues and the whole 9 yards. So it's.
Do you realize what you just signed on, though? The Justin Bustle. Like, do you realize? You're gonna have homework. You're gonna have certain porn videos you're gonna have to watch.
Oh, I'm fully aware, but he knows what I'm looking for, and I'm usually 99.9% of the time I'm in agreement with him about the direction he thinks we should go. So it's we're both very dark individuals.
Well, I got the show notes about the bestiality part. I'm just kind of just curious on.
The cat was asking for it by what it was wearing.
That's a teaser, a part that Missy's going to be involved with.
Oh, all right. She might be watching for all I know. So now you know. There you go. See, I don't even know what's going to be happening on my own show. So congratulations.
So what you're saying, everyone, if you want to know the top bestiality sites to go to, just watch the Ron Pertee show.
And follow Jack on Twitter at cat cum dumpster.
Oh man,
good times.
Definitely, man. I do hear there's quite a bit of pretty cool stuff though going on that we've got set up for the show and everything. Yep. I know there's a new intro that I'm sure we are very, very excited to.
I want to tell everybody who it is, but I can't. I've been sworn to secrecy about who the celebrity is on that's the new announcer of the program.
I know.
Well, I know you know.
I heard. I could just say it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be quite the surprise, especially to anybody who's already a fan of the Ron Pertee show.
Yes,
that's It's a very well-known voice.
Yes.
It's very distinct for sure.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're here to talk a little bit about Tales from the Crypt, guys. So first off, I feel like I should ask Ron, what got you started watching a show like Tales from the Crypt?
I wasn't allowed to, so that's why I would watch it. Anything my mother would tell me I can't watch would be something I have to put on. Like, don't watch Cinemax Saturdays after 10 o'clock. Okay. Thank you, Jacqueline Bissett. But it was a lot of like being told you shouldn't watch this, you shouldn't watch that. So I had to check it out. And when I was younger, Freddy really creeped me out for whatever reason. Jason didn't bother me, Leatherface didn't bother me, people like that didn't bother me, but Freddy for some reason. And the Crypt Keeper didn't scare me. I thought he was funny, which is probably a good thing. I guess they were going for like the weirdos like us now. They were, think he's funny, but that's what really got me into it. And having to watch this week's episode really kind of brought me back to when I was a lot younger. So,
right. Hopefully, it gave you some pretty good memories.
Great memories. Yeah,
I definitely really enjoyed this one for sure, and I got a feeling Jack did too.
I did. There's a lot of reasons I did, and I'm gonna say this before we start, getting into it. I do know Easel Kill Ya is a good name, but in all honesty, the whole tone could have been called Irony. Literally.
Yeah. Well, they always have that kind of.
No, this one was smart. This one was very smart. Like, and as a writer, I slightly saw it coming, but it was good. It was a good twist. Very, very. The irony, it could have been called Irony, but that would have been too forward. That's not their style. But it could have. It's good. It's good.
I will say this though: the minute they went to the hospital, I paused it and I texted JB and I said, "This is what's going to happen, isn't it?" And he's like, "Yep, yeah." Didn't even have to see. I didn't even have to follow through with it.
All right. Well, hopefully you still did.
I did, but it was great, and it was fantastic. I loved it.
Awesome. That's great, dude. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this episode. Obviously, we're going to be doing season 3, episode 8, Easel Kill You. And this is based off the Vault of Horror issue 31 comic book. And this one aired July 17th of 1991. And man, this is definitely a fun one. That's for sure. Like me doing the comic book part of this one was very interesting, and 100% agree with this. I'm not sure who this is. I can't see. Maybe Jack can go ahead and take a look for me. But yeah, Tim Roth was fucking awesome in that. And Joey Speak.
Well, I mean, who am I to
man alive?
Who am I to argue with good taste?
Is that Ron? Is Ron messaging for himself?
No. I wouldn't have been able to spell my own last name right.
No.
No.
All right, fair enough. So, anyways, let's go ahead and talk about some of the people involved with this episode, man. So, this was directed by John Harrison. Jack, do you know who he is?
No. I should.
No.
I don't recognize the name.
You
Dude,
definitely
really
should.
You're gonna ask me this question when we already know. By the way, Stephanie Smith. That is who that is.
Oh, well, hi, Stephanie. This is definitely one of the better episodes. It's definitely one of the more memorable ones. That's for sure. So anyways, let's go ahead and talk about John Harrison. Now, me and Ron actually talked about him a little bit earlier. So why don't I go ahead and give it over to Ron real quick, and why don't you say something a little bit about John?
John Harrison, if you've heard the scores for Creep Show, for Day of the Dead, he wrote the mini-series version of Dune. He directed 2 episodes of Tales from the Crypt, wrote 3 of them, if I remember correctly. I think I'm getting that one right.
The screenplays.
Yeah, and then he was the guy who directed Tales from the Dark Side, the movie.
And the TV show.
And the TV show. He was one of one of George A. Romero's more right-hand men. Because he did a lot of work with him. So yeah, he's kind of a big deal.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty much everything I was gonna say. Like Tales from the Dark Side was definitely one of the bigger things for me that he's done. But I think with my obsession with Tales from the Crypt, it's pretty obvious why. But
yeah, and his I think his score for Day of the Dead is one of the most underrated scores in horror history.
Yeah, I don't know. When I think about movie scores, I think about musicals all of a sudden, and then my head always goes to Labyrinth, and I'm like, yes, Labyrinth is the best one ever. Like, who can argue with that? Like, the Magic Dance is the coolest song in the fucking world.
Fair enough. I can't argue with that. See,
right.
There you go. You win, sir.
My logic is really fucked on that. I'll admit it. So, anyways, let's continue this. This was written by Larry Wilson. Now, this is somebody who's actually really cool to actually have on here, just for the simple fact that he not only did one, but he actually did 2 extremely iconic films. He wrote Beetlejuice and Addams Family, as well as some Tales from the Crypt, Little Vampire, and a bunch of other things.
That's it. Oh.
Dude, those are some really fucking big ones, man.
I know.
What's a Beetlejuice?
What is Beetle? What is that?
Don't say it again.
It sounds gross.
I kind of want to see. I kind of want to see BJ Goes Hawaiian.
No, you don't. Ron makes me moist.
It's true. I have no idea what that is, but
I feel like this person's saying things just to get me to say them live on air.
They're saying my name, so that's quite all right.
Right. Well, just keep in mind it's coming out of my voice, so it
doesn't matter. Whatever
gets it for you.
Right.
So let's go ahead and talk about some of the main actors in this film. Obviously, we got to start off with Tim Roth, and he plays the role of Jack, our main character. Most likely, you guys probably know him from Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Planet of the Apes. But he was also in the newer Twin Peaks, Incredible Hulk, as well as Dark Water, which is pretty cool too.
I'm a big fan.
He was Abomination. He was Abomination.
I was a big fan of him as the bellboy in 4 Rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good too.
Yeah, definitely. He's obviously worked with Tarantino quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Jack's a
By
huge
the way,
Hulk fan.
this is my when I go work out. Like, this is my motivation.
Wearing really short shorts.
So if any of our listeners are scientists and can hook us up with some kind of gamma radiation, it would be greatly appreciated because we are going to see what happens when we expose it to Jack.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to go Hawkman, you got to go all the way. There's no way around that. So, man, this name I'm going to really fuck up. Roya Magnat as Sharon. She really didn't do too much, but she was in a lot of TV episodes like MacGyver and Quantum Leap. Obviously, you get that quite a bit with Tales from the Crypt.
Hold on, real quick. I gotta put my dog out. Hold on.
Oh, you're fine. But
now, where were we talking about Jack and his weird sexual desires?
Oh God. You don't see my comments, I'll find you, sir. Well, somebody obviously likes you.
Or is trolling me. Either way, I'll take it.
Right.
It's attention.
It is attention. It could be worse, that's for sure.
It could be my brother for all I know.
I hope not.
That'd
Do you
be
think
weird.
it would be?
No.
Yeah. It makes your brother moist.
I'm pretty sure sitting there eating cookies makes him moist, but that's besides the point.
Fair enough. That's for sure.
Yes.
I guess going on to our next actress, we got Nancy Fish as the landlady, which pretty sure everybody recognizes her. Howard the Duck, Roseanne, Dr. Giggles, Mask.
I loved Mask.
Right. I actually specifically pointed out.
Great.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, it is that one. By the way.
No, it's not the one with Cher.
No, it's not the one with Cher. That one's actually not as
the
funny.
one with Cher was a damn good movie.
I guess there were a couple funny spots, but it wasn't like my kind of comedy. Like I like my comedy dark, but that was pretty rough.
Wait, which one are you talking about?
The Mask. Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about.
We're talking about the other one was the Peter Bogdanovich directed, Eric Stoltz starring with Cher and
why isn't it okay?
Sam Elliott.
Hey, Stephanie, this is what I need you to do. Right now, you're commenting.
It's okay. They'll figure it out. Let's go ahead and just continue. If you want to comment, just go to the page and chat with there, and we can see your name a lot easier that way. But anyways, I really had to mention that she was in Dr. Giggles because actually next week, me and Chuck are doing that for Two Guys, One Crypt, which is a good Larry Drake one, I guess.
I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Yeah. Don't watch it.
Are you serious?
I watched it last night and I was like, oh. I don't want to give a lot away, but it was we'll talk a little bit after the show about it. I
don't remember a lot. I don't remember a lot of it, but I know I loved it. It was just like it was a play on The Dentist. You know, if you remember that movie, that spawned a sequel, and it was very good. It was, but maybe Dr. Giggles would be the asylum version in that sense to The Dentist, maybe.
The Transmorphers.
The Dentist fucked me up.
Hey, I had Transmorphers, okay, and it sucked ass.
I 100% believe you. You did.
I sold it, but I had it. I owned it. I did own it.
Right. Well, whatever. So I guess we'll go ahead and continue this a little bit. We got Deborah Mooney as Ellen. Dead Poets Society, Roseanne, The Practice, Arrested Development. This lady's been in like fucking everything, dude. Like I like looking through like between her and Will Atherton, I think they've both like 300 something fucking credits together. It's fucking insane the amount of just like random shit that they've been on. And then obviously we got Will Atherton too as Malcolm Mayflower. That name, Malcolm Mayflower. But he did Twilight Zone, Die Hard, Murder She Wrote, and then this is a movie that I personally really, really don't like, just for the simple fact that it was advertised by being filmed in a area that I used to live in called Monroe, Michigan, and this movie's called Gin.
Oh,
And they advertised the hell out of it. But all it is there's one scene of a car driving down one of the streets, and they replay that same scene like 7 fucking times anytime they're driving anywhere. So that's all they did, and they just like advertised it like crazy at the time about it, though. But I fucking hate that movie.
I thought you were gonna say Ghostbusters at first, and I was gonna be like, "Oh, you motherfucker!" No.
No, everybody likes Ghostbusters.
Well, you didn't mention that movie in the list of movies that he's done, and that's why when you said, "And this is one movie I really don't like,"
Oh no,
I was like, "Son of a bitch, no!"
No, I'm just like, I'm not gonna write down every single thing. Like, I figure a lot of things are kind of obvious with a lot of the actors and actresses. Oh shit,
I know.
we got a watcher here. We got somebody Ron.
just a little bit.
I'm about to start watching all the crap horror movies on every streaming service we use. Jen is one of them. Don't watch it.
Yeah, don't
go watch Dr. Giggles. You want to watch something bad? Get a hold of me. I'll definitely direct you in the right way. That or check out Space Truckers.
Yes, Space Truckers 101. Oh, by the way, speaking of Ghostbusters, the tagline to the fans was this was going to be called like AKA Ghostbusters 2020. What are they going to call it now? Ghostbusters 2021?
No, it was Ghostbusters Afterlife.
No, but the other tagline was Ghostbusters 2020 for the fans. So now it's going to be Ghostbusters 2021. I think.
When I don't like something, I write it down immediately. Right?
Sorry, all of my people have followed me here. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're you're completely fine. That's for sure. I really suggest some really bad ones though. Like that. Ron makes my toes tingle and my ears tingle. Somebody really likes Ron, that's for sure. But fuck it. Let's go ahead and continue on with what we're talking about here with this episode. So, Jack, why don't you go and give us a nice little walkthrough on this episode?
All right. So it starts out, with this painter, this failed artist, and a lot of us artists, indie people, filmmakers alike can relate to it. We're down on our luck with certain things and we can't get something off the ground. Well, there is an accident and someone dies and he sees it. And I don't know why the hell I'm moving so much. You're making me nauseated here. For the listeners who can't see this, Justin's playing with the screens, so it's like going everywhere. But what I'm saying is he paints this picture of the person that's dead right now. And well, he goes and brings it to this, I guess, painting connoisseur, and he pays him a damn good amount. Well, he then goes on to he kills people because he sees that look in their eyes or the way it looks. And it's so dramatic, and he paints it. He ends up getting a girlfriend that is, the typical chick. They fall in love within 3 minutes of the episode, and they make amazing love, which Tales from the Crypt is very good with, sex scenes, I think. And this guy, while this is going on, this guy wants more paintings. And he's like, he knows deep inside, like, in order for me to do this, I got to kill someone. I have to get that look, that's the guy who is paying him all this money to create these paintings. And I think he accidentally kills his landlord and then like paints her and he sells that. Yeah. So he paints this picture of what this would look like. I don't know if you have a picture of the painting from the episode. But next thing you know, he keeps his easels, or his brushes, and dripped in blood and everything else in his cabinets. And he goes to sell a painting. His girlfriend finds it, confronts him when he gets home. And of course, in classic 80s style, they take off running into a road without looking. Boom, gets hit by a taxi cab. I think this is one part that upsets me the most. Like, did the taxi cab stay around and bring her to the hospital? Like, I don't know. The writing is just that's a plot hole. But she has severe brain damage. She has severe brain damage, and the doctor says, we need this amount of money to get this guy here in order to do this. And he's like, okay, I'm going to do it. Well, he gets to the hospital. He goes outside, and he's like, I got to make some money. And this is what he's thinking. He sees somebody get out of their car. He hurries up. He strangles him, bashes their head in, uses cardboard in an alley that happens to be there, paints the whole thing. Okay, he paints the whole whatever, and he goes to the guy. He pays him the money, the exact amount of money to save his girlfriend's life, because there's a specific doctor that can only do it. He gets there. He's like, here's the check. Here's your money. You do it. And then he says, sir, I'm sorry, but unfortunately, the only person that could have done this was murdered tonight. His head was bashed in. And then he walks off dramatically. The cops are looking at him. Then with another dramatic fade in, they pull the sheet over the woman's head, and she's dead. And then he has this look of regret. Then the cops walk up to him, and the Crypt Keeper comes on. And that is what I call the irony and finger painting.
I love the finger painting part. That's for sure.
Yes. So literally, the tone of this whole episode is irony. It should have been called like Iron Me, but it was irony. Because the one person that could have saved his girlfriend's life, he killed. It was a good twist, and as a writer, I applaud them. It was good. I was really impressed by it.
Right. Fair enough. So with that being said, let's talk a little bit about the comic book. So this is based off the Vault of Horror issue number 31. And obviously we're not going to do a full rundown of the exact same thing. As always, we're just going to go through and talk about just some of the differences with this. So our main differences are like some of the kills. So we start off with a car crash kill, which is entirely accidental, and that's the inspiration for the first one. And then with his second kill, he actually is setting up road barriers and pretty much stages an accident and causes one that way. And they go into detail about how he actually goes and watches it and sees what's going on. And it's I don't know. I think it's definitely more gruesome in the comic book. Obviously, there is no sex scene. I guess in 1950, whatever, 2 or 3, they just didn't add those to the comic book, I guess.
But you can write about killing people, but no sex.
Well,
explain that.
Up to the comic code era. Up to the comic code era.
America.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Anyways, let's go back to some of the differences here. So one of the other big differences is the fact that with the female, in the TV episode, he never really finishes the portrait. But yes, remember, because they go to actually talk about finishing the portrait, and he's like, oh, I've given up on it, blah, blah, blah. And he's doing his other darker thing in the TV show. And then they go straight into having sex. They don't go straight into him finishing the portrait. So with the comic book issue, though, there is no sex. And instead, he uses his time wisely and finishes a painting. So keep that in mind out there. If you're not having sex at the moment, feel free to do a painting. To continue on with that, she also gets she's gonna marry him in this too, so it moves even quicker in the comic book, and she ends up getting injured going to do that. And then there's some money differences, obviously, which is kind of funny because
this comment,
HBO boob seems to make me happy until I was 10. Yes, I can't argue with that whatsoever. That's for sure.
Pervert.
And then they started making real sex. Now that was the shit. Real sex was the closest to porn that I got as well that I could tape, record on my TV. That was the shit.
I 100% believe that you taped it, and I 100% believe you still have the tapes. So,
And I 100% think he's looking for a place to get them digitized so he can watch them on his computer.
he just recorded them with his phone and uploaded the video that way, like it's bootlegged.
Well, that's how I am with all the episodes of Cat House. So what can I can't really complain.
Right. Fair enough.
Anyway,
back to some of these differences. We obviously get some money differences comparing the 50s to the 90s. So, like, you know how like he starts off getting like what $3,000 or was it?
I think it was 10.
10. All right. So well, in the comic book, he actually got like $100 to start, and then when it gets and then when it goes to the operation, it's $3,000. So
okay, okay, we got to think about.
Maybe he had better insurance.
Well, yeah, but influx from the 1950s to late 1980s, you know, that could have been $200 or $300, you know.
I don't know, 3,000 to 50.
I don't know.
No, it was 100. 3,000 to 100,000. That's a pretty big jump. I don't know if that's even. I don't know. I'm not. If anybody does, feel free to go ahead and let us.
The doctor never says exactly how much the operation is going to cost. He says it's going to be very expensive. That's all he said.
Yeah, but the amount of money he goes and collects is 100,000. Also, in the comic book, when he gets the money, he forcefully takes it and kills the guy.
Oh,
yes, and then to do the last painting, he ends up killing the doctor, but the doctor's walking across the bridge at the time to get to the hospital. And when they go and talk about it, they say that he had his neck twisted and he was hacked to pieces. So it was definitely a more gruesome death than bashing his head into the concrete.
Now, why would they do that on the episode? That is like very much Tales from the Crypt style instead of a cheap bashing. You know, like
I don't know.
Maybe they had to cut something like that extravagant for time or a budget.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It's definitely very possible. That's for sure. And also, there was no implied jail or cops at the end of it either. So it's like he got off, which is pretty cool. Everybody wants to get off.
Yeah,
I just did.
Fair enough.
But in all reality, and with the way CSI is these days, it would have been opened up again, and his ass would have been caught straight up.
True, definitely. So, anyways, we went ahead. We talked about the episode, and we went ahead and chatted about the comic book. So let's go ahead, take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with our thoughts about the episode as well.
Hello, this is the Sasquatch, aka Bigfoot, but you can just call me Frank. And when I'm not stomping around the woods throwing rocks at hunters, I like to listen to the Paranormal Punchers podcast. That's right, Paranormal Punchers. They talk about all things paranormal, and they're hilarious. Go find them on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and ParanormalPunches.com.
Do you like the Tales from the Crypt? Do you love the Tales from the Crypt? Even if you've never seen an episode, this podcast is for you. I'm Melissa, your ghostess with the mostest, and host of the Good Evening Kiddies podcast. Each week, I break down another great episode from the TV series The Tales from the Crypt. Audio clips are included, so even if you haven't watched that episode, you're good to go. There are also special guests, trivia, mini movie reviews, and much more. What are you waiting for? Check out the Good Evening Kiddies podcast on Podbean, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts. That's the Good Evening Kiddies podcast. Check it out today.
Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society. A whole new season of spine-tingling.
For the first time in We're Not Afraid of the Dark history, we're actually going to watch a erotic scene
together. Just a couple brothers watching porn together. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, on air right now. This is the biggest plot hole I saw this, by the way. How in the fuck does she take him back in town for
But he was made it a point to bump him. But no, I agree.
How do you not catch this?
I was drunk when I watched this.
Whoa,
So were we.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just this giant fucking board right here ready to lock down.
Like Like it has hooks that you latch the fucking door to lock it.
She is on Mr. Skate Up, I'll link in the show there. She does
I
get
knew
that. And she's listed as great nudity. She's a red-haired girl. They say she has great natural tits.
See?
You seen her black people in this episode?
I like how she's exercising while eating it, and then she's in the bathroom taking a shit, reading the story, and the plate's on the floor.
And this is also the first episode where our main characters aren't just a bunch of generic white kids.
Everything about our food is changing. The way we cook it, the way we eat it, and the way we share it. And that's why I'm encouraging you to come and check out Pardon My Fork. Conveniently packaged in hour-long episodes and available anywhere you find your favorite podcasts and at pardonmyfork.com. We are talking to home cooks, chefs, Food Network stars, and world food champions. So cleanse your palate and come and get a heaping helping of Pardon My Fork.
Greetings! We are the Retro Reductopus Cephala Podcast, the bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
He's right. We wax philosophic about lots of geeky crap like old video games and movies, toys, cartoons. I don't know, help me out here.
Music, pants, quoting video games that don't have dialogues, shabibans, tasty news,
Unnecessarily long Japanese onomatopoeia.
butt breathers, uncomfortable nature facts,
or how to install a thermoflash.
And unlike all those other podcasts, we at Retro Redoctopus have an exciting rotating host schedule.
Do we? We sure do.
So, if you didn't like the guy flapping his gums this week,
like me,
worry not, gentle listener. Next week we'll have a whole new host.
Of problems.
Hey, they might still suck, but they'll suck differently.
And you know what's really cool? Retro Reductopus is part of the Dorkening and Inebriar podcast networks, with new episodes every Tentacle Tuesday.
Which is like every other Tuesday. We named it.
Anyways, you can listen to us at iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, or any podcast player cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all things that made growing up awesome.
Win championship belts. If you're not listening to Trick or Treat Radio, here's a taste of what you've been missing.
there's 3 guarantees in life. What are they?
Death, taxes, and Trick or Treat Radio every Friday morning.
This is one of the most convoluted movies I've ever seen in my life.
I'm fucking trying, man.
Hey.
Oh yeah. Hey. Oh yeah.
It's like you took a shit on a pile of shit.
But you shit on him for liking what he likes.
Yeah, well, it's my job.
This podcast is now banned in Germany.
It's me, Giovanni Lombardo Radici.
Shut up! I call bullshit. I demand someone to bring me the face of Lindsay Lohan.
If I had genitals, I would definitely bang her.
Oh, wait. Was she a great big fan person?
You just hit the jackpot.
This is a weird movie, huh?
It had action, it had suspense, it had great characters, it had great acting.
I'm gonna strangle you with my jockey shorts.
I don't like mobster movies.
All right, well, here's my take. You're a sick fuck.
Thank you. Now shut the fuck up and let me talk.
Have you ever seen 2001?
The box, right? The box and the monkey.
Available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and trickortreatradio.com.
Arrivederci, douchebags.
And welcome back to this awesome episode where we're discussing Easel Kill You with our good friend Ron Pertee.
Hey, Ron. Hello. By the way, I'm making all of my sex scenes available at lookatThatHole.com.
Awesome. Do you have an OnlyFans set up?
Yes. I do, actually. It's $750,000
I wonder what kind of content there is. It's Ron doing belly bulging.
Pretty much. And there is one thing where you have to tip to get it, and that's an extra $650,000, where I will show you my 3.5-inch asshole. I should have said feet because that's what the blue whale is. My apologies for fucking up a joke.
When you think about it.
Extreme. That's like no lube whatsoever used.
Yeah, and it's
you realize how excited you just made Jack, right?
I know how excited I made old Dickum down.
Fair enough, man. So, anyways, let's go ahead and start off with Ron, man. What did you think about this episode in general? And after you talk about it for a little bit, give us a rating between 1 and 10, 10 being the best.
I think it was an incredible morality play on how once you open the door to darkness, you can't really shut it again. Irony came into play for sure, but I think it was totally a morality play on that. And I thought Tim Roth's performance was great. At first, I thought that William Atherton was the bad guy. At Roy, and I remember texting JB and saying that to him, and he's like, "Not really." I'm like, "Oh, all right, fine." But I think he was kind of the bad guy in a weird way because he was the one who pushed Jack into painting this stuff. Jack could have been done with the one, but the guy, he kept pushing him and kept pushing him. And I, for one, would never take any kind of advice from somebody whose last name is Mayflower, but that's just me.
Real quick, Ron. Can we like how many characters in Tales from the Crypt are named Jack?
I think
a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to remember when the original stories were written, they were written in the 50s. So a lot of, and plus I would not doubt that Chuck, and I can never pronounce his last name right, Palahniuk, used the whole Jack trope for Fight Club from the EC comics and of all the horror and stuff like that. I'm sure he did. Because he just seems like that kind of guy. But I thought it was a great episode. It brought back a lot of memories of enjoying the show when I was a kid. I give it, what do I give it? I give it a 8.5.
That's definitely a pretty good rating. That's
the thing is that the taxi kept going. It didn't, from what I gathered, it just took off. You got to remember, I just watched it like an hour ago, so it's really fresh in my mind. The taxi took off, so I mean, there's that. But I mean, there's little things that, and plus, I think they were trying to fit a lot of story into such a small, like, what was it, 25 minutes or something like that,
roughly.
Yeah. So I think they had to condense it a lot, and a lot of things were probably left out. And I thought the ending was just a little contrived about you're an artist, aren't you? That whole thing. But that's why I gave it an 8.5. But it did remind me of an old show I used to watch on NBC back in the day called Nightmare Cafe. So that made me go back and start watching that.
This is
what the fuck?
This is a friend of mine, Sam. He says, "Can we address that? Ron looks like the Tourette's guy without his neck brace."
I have no idea what that means. But thanks. Tune in every Saturday night at 11 p.m. Central Standard Time, and you can watch me without my neck brace all the time.
So, anyways, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about what I thought about it. So, I thought it was a pretty fun episode myself too. It brought back a lot of memories. I really liked watching this one when I was younger. Obviously, the sex scenes, but there were a couple of things that I noticed that were kind of different, especially now going back and actually watching it for a show and trying to notice things. So, like, I noticed that after he killed the landlord, like when he was doing his like close-up scenes with her, the lights were moving and everything, and like because there were hanging lights, but every time they did the faraway shots, the lights were entirely like just still stationary, like they weren't even touched then. So like there were a lot of little errors like that I noticed, but other than that, the gore was awesome. I love the idea of him not only killing them and getting inspiration, but especially with the landlady when he takes that mason jar there and he's actually filling it up with her blood. And, he's actually using her too with the painting, and like you really get to see it, and it's graphic, and it's why I love the show. It completely. The twist is your typical kind of Tales from the Crypt twist. Obviously, killing the only person that could save that person's life. Obviously, you're going to see that coming, but it still doesn't mean it's not a fun one. It's definitely entertaining, and they use the same twist even with the comic books. So, for all I know, they might be like the original people who came up with that twist. It's possible. I don't know. I haven't researched it, and I hope nobody does, so I'm right.
My favorite part, though, I forgot to mention real quick, is the late 80s saxophone sex music for cable during the sex scene that you hear in everything, like even on Cinemax when you're watching softcore porn. That kind of thing. It's just like, oh, Jesus.
Right. It says Ron looks like the sloth if he had 23rd chromosome.
Thank you.
Do you think the art collector may have known what Jack was doing all along?
I think so.
I think if he didn't know, he knew by the time he got the last one
with the brain matter on it.
Like I think
this one has fresh neurosurgeon on it.
Like I feel like it's probably worth more being like a smarter IQ on there. It's a smarter painting, I guess. But and then
because there's brains on it.
Yeah. But the end of the episode is like, and we don't really talk about them too much just because it's not really the episode. But the ending with the Crypt Keeper doing this finger painting, I cannot tell you how hard I sat there and just fucking laughed to myself. Like I couldn't even do anything else. All I did was laugh about it. And we got Sam Knight going ahead and chiming in again. He says, I do agree with Jack. I love the bridge idea in the comic book rather than the show's parking lot kill would have made it better.
Yeah.
I do agree.
Yeah,
I agree with his comment agreeing with me.
All right. I'm just assuming they probably didn't have access to a bridge. I don't know. I feel like there's bridges everywhere, but I don't know. I don't
could have fucking did it.
Right.
I think a lot of it, if you notice, a lot of it is like one or two locations. There's not a whole ton of like, and the whole thing was probably shot on a soundstage.
Not always. I've had Todd Masters on who did a lot of the special effects for these, and I'm just not 100% sure. This is something I could definitely pass along his way and ask him about, though. So look forward to another installment with me trying to figure out why they didn't use the bridge idea from the comic book. But anyways, though, I would give this one a solid 8. This was a fun one. The twist was good, but unfortunately, there are a lot of other episodes that are just amazing in comparison, at least to what I feel. But anyways, why don't we go ahead and pass it off to Jack here? So, Jack, what did you think about this one?
You know, I really liked this episode. One, because I'm an artist myself on many different levels, not just, obviously not with painting, but I do draw. But just the fact, his ambition, you know, through this whole thing, you know, it does suck. He had to find inspiration through killing people and death. But, you know, in some wicked way, death is art and death is beautiful. So that's the way it could be taken. Now, the story I really enjoyed. You know what I don't, this is the only thing I don't like about Tales from the Crypt is I want more each time. I want fucking more. And when you describe the comic books, it pisses me off because it's like you had all that fucking shit and you used other shit, you know. So it's just, you had everything at your fingertips, like the blueprints, the screen, the shot, you know, is layered for you right there. And you, when they do things on their own, you know, just like the bridge scene, like if I would have seen that would have, that's badass. You know, I am going to give this an 8.9.
8.9. That's definitely an odd one. I feel like he just wanted to one up you, Ron. No,
this isn't. Hey, we're not judging Rodney Dangerfield doing the triple Lindy at the end of Back to School here, so it doesn't.
Hey, that was a damn good movie.
We should probably judge that one of these days. So.
Vault of Horror, what?
Vault of Horror issue number 31. I can I'll send you what you need. I know what you're looking for. Yeah. But I still thought this was a really fun episode though. That's for sure, man. It was it was a blast.
Yeah, so yeah, 8 you know, I'm not gonna be a dick. I'm gonna give it an 8.3 then. 8.3 out of 10 is really not that bad. I like the writing, and you know, who knows? They may have been the first people to have that ending, that irony ending, you know, that before it was originally done. We don't know that. You know, we don't know unless we do some fucking research, which is Justin is very good at because he's competitive at every fucking thing we talk about. But
whatever.
But he may do that. Yes, you know what? You're absolutely right. And here's how I can tell you that you're right. Totally off subject, but this is just bantering here now. But I used to read books Triple Lindy is a straight 10. Hell yeah. I think I back in the day in the 90s, I would read the books before the movie came out with a lot of things. Like I read X-Men, before it came out. I read I was obsessed
to
with
be fair though, we had a lot longer time before a movie was released.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You know what? You're right. Yeah, they don't do that no more.
Right.
They
And
don't
then
do
if
that
you
no
missed it in the theater, you had to wait like what, 6 months to a fucking year again before it even
to get on VHS. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
So
ridiculous.
if you missed
So-
it the first round, you were waiting a long time.
Yeah, and it was way before. I mean, they had pirating, but it wasn't. It you had to be in certain places to get it.
Did you know anybody with VHS bootlegs? If anybody does, please send it to me. I would love to see some VHS bootlegs. Like somebody recording a
recorded my
VHS
own.
tape in the theater.
Dude, I actually had the copy. I mean, it was probably like the millionth copy VHS Fantastic Four, the original 1994 Roger Corman one.
That is
on
the best
VHS.
Fantastic Four that has ever come out, and I will fight people on that.
I actually have the autograph from what's his fucking name? I met him. He's a great guy. I got his number and everything. The filmmakers from New Orleans. I went to the world premiere of that film. The red carpet premiere. They showed the film. He was there, talked about the movie. We talked afterwards, and it was really cool.
It's true. It's 100%. Barb, I'm coming for that ass.
I have no idea what we're talking about. But
Obviously, Tom's mom is Barb, and she better watch her ass.
That's right.
Okay. Well, but no. So I read, X-Men. The X-Men book was phenomenal. Like you actually, it's not in a movie, but you get a backstory on Storm, and there's people that are in the book, in the movie. You actually know what they're thinking when you're watching it. It's one of those. And then Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. I read that before I saw the film. And during the film, I annoyed my friend to the point of almost wanting to hit me, where I was describing, hey, that's not in the book. That's not what happened. That's not this isn't right. And so books, the books are always better. Except the only series that I will say was equally amazing, book to film. And no, it's not Twilight. Actually, Twilight was amazing. I read the first 2 books, loved them. But shut the fuck up. Look,
Jack doesn't speak for the entire Tales from the Podcast group. Jack speaks for Jack on that one.
I'm talking about Harry Potter. They were equally good. Everything in the movies was in the book. It's like there's nothing really taken out, and I love them.
Funny story about Harry Potter though is I was working with Mr. Victor in the chat at the time, and my number started to dwindle at work because I was reading the Deathly Hallows at the time while I was at work.
Wait, out loud?
Yes, I was actually sitting there at a collection agency, and whenever someone would call me and say they wanted to pay their bill, I'd like, well, first, let me read you about what happened to Harry and Voldemort.
Huh.
Oh, my God.
Wow. He knew it.
You know what, Tom? Suck it. It did not suck. Shut up.
I'll be honest with you guys. I did not watch that, and my best comparison is going to be The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And I tell you what, man, as a 13-year-old JB, that was a hell of a fucking couple books to get through.
Well, 41-year-old Ron still has never seen Lord of the Rings.
I've never seen Return of the King. I have not.
I went to a theatrical premiere of them releasing all of the extended cuts in a row.
Oh, dear God, you. Oh, my God.
How many days were you there?
Yeah, how many,
whatever,
how many virgins were in that theater?
Probably 2. I don't know what you're talking about. It was awesome. I don't care. The book I even had for it had the entire Elvish language in there, too, so you could translate it.
Okay, so I got a story since we're speaking of that. Okay, so 2018, I was in an insane asylum. I'm sorry, mental institution. God damn, I just went off the rails right there.
A mental medical facility.
Yes, for the VA.
A headed room with a straitjacket.
Actually, they never gave me the straitjacket. Fuck you. But
It was a padded room.
It was what's the holiday? Not Labor Day. Is it Labor Day in June? Is it Labor Day?
My birthday. My birthday is the only holiday in June. And
No,
Father's Day.
There's a
Memorial Day.
No,
isn't that the end of May?
Maybe. Yeah, one of the. Okay, so it was.
Then in that case, there's only one holiday in May, and that's my birthday.
Well, there's 2 holidays in July, which is
And
the
you're
4th.
allowed to have your own opinion, Sam.
But anyways, no. In there we had the DVDs of, like, we had them all. Like, we watched. I think they were the extended cuts of, 1 through 3. But we got to the 3rd disc, and we opened the case. No Return of the King. So we watched.
So you just decided, like, fuck it. I just rather not know the end.
Well, it wasn't there for us to watch. It wasn't our fault. Like, we had.
I 100% agree.
They put you in a room for. You know what? I was Team Edward. Go fuck yourself. I love those movies.
What does being Team Edward have to do with
Oh
it?
my God.
Now I'm talking. I'm talking like somebody else.
Yourself.
Watch
it. And if you're listening to this podcast and you're like, "Oh my God, Jack, fuck you," I love Twilight.
This is a masterclass in how to
He loves a sparkly vampire.
White ass.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about it. Jack, who's your favorite vampire?
Ooh. Who's my favorite of all time?
On film.
Oh God, the Near Dark.
It doesn't help.
What's my favorite vampire?
But there are more than one vampire in there.
The fucking
Severin?
The guy from Twister.
Severin.
I guess. I don't know his fucking name.
Ron.
He took my answer, and he didn't even know the name.
Oh wow! So
Near Dark is the greatest vampire movie ever.
You're wrong. Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Paul Rubens was the best vampire ever.
Fuck you. That's no.
I
Fuck
said
you.
vampire.
You know why? I'm not
Fuck
going
off.
to disagree. I'm going to disagree because Buffy the Vampire Slayer was a
fucking
cultural
angel.
icon that was created. The original Buffy with Christy Swanson, amazing movie. The series never really got into it because it was lame, and the only reason people liked it was because
It was so lame. It lasted like 9 seasons.
Yeah.
Like, nobody enjoyed that.
Suck my dick.
Just keep in mind, Firefly lasted 1.
That was amazing.
Yeah. Rest in peace. Firefly.
Obviously,
But
Buffy was a lot more popular than you give it credit for.
But no, I don't like to watch things that are popular. Like, I've never seen an episode of Game of Thrones. I don't do that.
Don't start now because that last season's garbage.
I know, I already know, because Facebook ruined it for
watched
everything. That's why I never did it. Like with the Starbucks cup in the middle of the episode. Like, I know everything because Facebook ruins it. So fuck you.
You're not on Facebook anymore.
I know, but they ruined it when it was on.
Just watch it. Who cares? It's fun. It's a good show. I don't really care what anybody says. It was a decent show.
Skinny white ass.
Better than fucking Walking Dead.
His hair just...
But Walking Dead's fucking garbage. But I haven't watched this. I've never watched The Sopranos. I know. But I know the ending, and I know a lot of people have a bad opinion about it. But a lot of people were just reacting immediately and never gave it a chance to just sink in their heads. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, it left it when he drove off, dude. It just kind of left it in limbo. People didn't know. It's actually rated as one of the worst, like, fan reacted.
Who drove off
of a series?
What are you talking about?
Fucking.
Talking about the end of Sopranos.
No one drove off at the end of Sopranos. They were
Yeah, he did. He drove off.
They were sitting there getting ready to eat, and it just went black.
Oh, okay.
They even spoofed it on Family Guy.
Yeah. Of course
Okay.
they did. Well, 9 months later, when they broke the Koreans' wrists to get the stuff done on time.
Hey, well, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I suppose. I mean,
there's
mistakes were made.
Hey, what is that shiny white ass right? Or is hair just want to know is you're a vampire or werewolf, Jack? What?
I'm not sure. I think
You
he wants to
still
know if you
looking at-
prefer the werewolf or vampires in Twilight.
Oh, and I was Team Edward, so I love the love story. I love that part of it.
The only love story I like is Star Wars.
Is that a movie or something?
you.
Okay, but here's the question: what are your thoughts on Robert Pattinson as Batman?
Fucking A, let's do it, bro.
Okay,
Fuck
I'm all for it, but I'm all
anybody.
for it, but I don't get a fucking hard on when somebody brings it up.
Oh, bro, don't really.
Is your growth hormones that you've been taking for that role kicking in, or what?
That's how he replies. That's how he replies right there. For those who can't see right now, he is flexing. I could definitely see Jack doing the whole American Psycho thing, like watching himself fuck somebody, like jamming out some Phil Collins. Like I could definitely just see that and be more.
It would be Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys. Yes.
You know what? Quick fact: today I was jamming out to Backstreet Boys' Greatest Hits album that featured their song. Yeah, I forgot the song, but it's a great song. Incomplete. No, not incomplete. And
I'm
going to be honest with you. I don't know any Backstreet Boys song.
The only Backstreet Boys song I know is the one at the end of "This Is the End."
Fair enough. That's different though.
What?
Jack, I think that's for you. Do you even lift,
I
bro?
think so. I think so. Do I even lift? I mean, do I?
He lifted his sleeve up.
He did. For those who don't know, he was a Navy man before. He was
He was a seaman.
Loadmaster Seaman Hunter.
We've gone so long without this joke.
This joke has been going steady for well over a year, and I'm still not sick of it. So until I start getting audiences complaining about, like, all right, you need to lay out the semen jokes.
All right, Tom's comment is wonderful. That's just
the Twilight books and actually that's pretty funny, dude.
He's actually the.
I have a message for Tom.
Oh boy.
You want. Let's go.
You shouldn't be intimidating Michael J. Fox like that.
What?
Nothing.
My brother was making, like how you have those Kool-Aid drinks you squish into water or whatever. He did that, and then he shook it like this, and he said he was imitating Michael J. Fox.
It's really easy to imitate him without
It really is.
What are you talking about?
I saw a seizure. Fair enough. So, anyways, we've all went ahead and chatted about this episode, and it's definitely been fun. Oh, look at this. We got Sean joining in too.
Yeah,
hey, Sean, how's it going, buddy?
The Ragnar Wiles, shout out to them too. They must
be over.
Yeah, it's what it is.
I love you. I love Sam and Lance, but we know where Sean was, and it's okay, buddy.
No, it's not. You broke my heart.
You broke my heart.
We're hanging at the bathhouse.
Talk to Ron later because he'll tell you I was crying before the show about
He
it.
was. It was horrible. There was tears everywhere. They came.
I saw the tears, and I even said, "Hey, it's gonna be okay, buddy."
It cried like it was the first time I watched Fern Gully.
Dude.
Now that is an inside joke that he and I only know, because that shit was funny as hell when she said that, and you were like, "Fuck that movie."
That movie
No, not you. No.
He's talking about me. He says, "Just saw you got on." I would have watched both at the same time.
So he's a bisexual person.
Yes, I guess so.
Whatever works.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
2020, baby.
Hey, it is what it is. So, anyways, though, we talked about the show, we talked about the comic book, and we gave everybody our thoughts about the show. I think, Jack finished. So, anyways, Rod, man, why don't you tell everybody a little bit more about you, what you have going on with the show this season, and where everyone can find you.
All right, the Ron Pertee Show will be back either the 10th or the 17th. We're not sure yet, depending on some guests that we're waiting to hear back from that are kind of big top-tier horror folk. But the 17th for sure will be back, and on that day we're going to have Conan Neutron from Conan Neutron and the Secret Friends. His new album Dark Passengers is coming out then, so we're going to have him on. And it looks like we're going to have a performance by hip-hop group Ghost Machines, who are pretty awesome. Kind of like a rhyme sayers type of thing. But every Saturday night starting at 11 p.m. Central Standard Time, so that's midnight for you East Coast folks and 9 p.m. for you West Coast folks. You can tune into the Ron Pertee Show on Facebook at the Ron Pertee Show page, on youtube.com/Real Ron Pertee, or at twitch.tv/Ron Pertee TV. It's me and Vic and Missy, and then and JB is our new producer. So I don't know what hell I've wrought upon my staff, but we're going full talk show. As you can see, this is actually the debut of the Ron Pertee Show set. I was told to turn my light off though, which is probably good because I'm not sweating as much. But you are going to see me in suits. I will be wearing suits, and there's going to be monologues and the whole 9 yards. So if you need something to help get you to sleep on Saturday night, you tune into my show. God damn it.
I 100% agree for everyone to go ahead and check that out for sure. And that's not me just even talking about me being on there. It's like, obviously I watched it, quite a bit before I even, said I'll do it and everything. So it's awesome, man. It's really exciting to see all the new things that you have coming on there. That's for sure.
We got some ridiculous stuff coming up, and if it depends on like the cast and the staff's reaction to it, but we may have a very, very special guest on our Halloween episode because we're on Halloween, and it's a guest that has influenced me for most of my life. So if that happens, I am going to get the emails. Whew.
Hey, Ron, have you reached out to Moxie?
No, actually, I unfollowed her, believe it or not, because her political agenda and mine don't match, and that's all she tweets about.
Who gives, bro? Fuck you.
I mean, if you really want to, I mean, if you're into that kind of thing.
Wait. Well, you should follow her back.
Sam's mask will also be sent out on the 1st, just so he knows. I've already chatted with Sambo.
Okay.
So, anyways, man, it's definitely been a lot of fun. I'm excited to see what you have going on with the show, man.
We actually have a whole structure set up, and I'm working. I brought comedian Nate Ford on. He's been on the road for 20 years, and he's going to be helping me out with the monologues and some of the bits and stuff. And it's weird to have to come up with material by the week.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a blast, though. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Jack looking good, brother. Hey, JB and Ron. Hey, John. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, John. I have not been on Facebook, as you know, Gunny. I won't be on Facebook till probably 2021.
Or why don't you just wait till November 4th?
So if you want to go ahead and contact Jack, the best way to do that is at his OnlyFans at hugeanalgapes.com, and then go ahead and have fun there.
Don't forget my other site, Come On My Lips 100.
It sounds like your AOL Messenger name.
It is. Yeah. Oh my God. I still remember my AIM username. It was Boxers. Right. You decide, because back in the day it was like Boxers Are Brief.
And don't forget, there will be, I'm going to say this real quick. Not only is this the exclusive premiere of the set for the Ron Pertee Show, but also we were up for Best Entertainment Show in Wisconsin, and we will find that out on the 8th. And if we do win and we don't have a show booked for the 10th, we will have some kind of cool celebration with me and a crown, because fuck you. That's why.
And
fair enough. I hope it's a BK crown.
In November on election night, me and Justin will be hosting a special edition of Tales from the Podcast, talking about the political situation happening, and we will announce live on the air who has been elected or re-elected president of the United States. You heard it here first. Me and JB will give our political analysis live on the air, along with Ron.
No. Ron's show is going to try and be as anti-political as possible because we want to get people away from this crap. You heard it here first.
Yeah. Actually, we don't do a political show.
I know
a lot of late night hosts will do that, but I don't.
In all honesty, Justin, I think we're not going to talk about politics, but what we can do is give live, like I can like pull it up on I'll have a new TV, but I could be streaming and we could give the results live. I think that would be pretty interesting.
I think people are going to actually watch the news for that, man. I think that's a better Plenty of Fish Life video.
You go get him, dick him down.
Oh, it's okay. I love Jack anyways.
Thanks. It's so no, we got a lot of cool stuff, and we're trying. We have one political joke that we're doing the first week, but it's not really that. And if people watched last season, I made fun of both. My favorite impersonation wasn't even my Trump impersonation; it was my Biden one. I would put on a pair of aviators and sniff the microphone. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yes.
So at least you stay unbiased with it. And I 100%. Nobody wants to tune into this to hear about our politics.
Exactly.
And honestly, I don't want to tune into anybody's shit and hear theirs. So I understand 100%. There we go. And of course, somebody's chiming in with the romp votes 20.
No, I don't. I don't love Trump. I love myself. Sorry.
Right. So anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. It's been a lot of fun. Go check out Ron, all of his shows. When this is released out on podcast form, check out the show notes. All the places to find Ron is going to be right there. Easy to find. Good to go. So thank you, Ron, so much for joining us, dude.
My pleasure.
It's definitely been a blast. That's for sure. All right, man. I'm going to go ahead, drop you down. So Jack, dude, this was a fucking awesome episode, dude. I had a lot of fun talking about this one.
Me too.
It had everything that I loved in a Tales from the Crypt episode. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I am happy about this. I missed the last episode, but I was busy. I was doing stuff with, I didn't want to be here, so I was doing other stuff. But no, I'm kidding. I was busy, but it was a great episode. I really had a lot of fun with Ron, and
of course, Ron's always a pleasure.
Yeah, well, it depends on how you look at pleasure. I call it pain, but it can be pleasure for you. And we're getting a picture taken of, so smile. Apparently, smile.
I highly doubt we're getting a picture taken of. He's probably just
we can't see. Ron, you're showing the webcam on your You're not showing the webcam.
Hey,
wait here. Let's smile for Ron. Oh, I can't. Okay. Great.
We'll see it later. That's for sure.
We'll see you later. But ladies and gentlemen, for the time being, until next time, the crypt
is closed.